Kevin, I think it's safe to say at this point, friend of the show as well. We thank you for being back here on the Hill. So what about it? Is the Trump trade on? If you got a 401k, what are you thinking about this?
It's not the Trump trade. It's the policy trade. Investors don't care about politics. They care about policy. And so we've had some inklings, and I'll give you an example. Burgum came out yesterday with a narrative about using America's balance sheet to reduce debt, basically tapping into the Anwar, getting more out of energy, and a lot of other narratives that he brought forward. And I don't know if he's going to be Secretary of Energy, but, you know, he's going to be somewhere in the cabinet.
Yeah.
He's very pro tapping into reducing debt with what we own already. People know that the Trump mandate, the first term, was really about deregulation across all 11 sectors of the S&P. So within the community of investors, both sovereign wealth, pension, high net worth here in the U.S., the narrative over the last 48 hours has been, okay, we're trying to figure out, and I'll just give it to you straight, this is really nothing about picking green or blue or yellow or green, or I don't care, red or blue. It's really about trying to figure out what's going to happen. No, but I'm trying to say, you know, it really has nothing to do with politics.
Okay.
I mean, look, here's what it is on energy, just energy sector. It's been depressed. PEs are down. It's highly regulated, and under the current administration, there's no increase in LNG imports and exports and all the rest of that. But if it's true that Trump's getting in, and so the way we're looking at it, I'll give in my own shop, just letting you know how it works. If by August 7th, the ticket remains the same with Biden and Harris, we're going to double down or triple down on energy. And I'm not saying I'm pro-Harris or Biden or Trump. That outcome, in terms of the probabilities of the mandate changing on policy, is higher than if they swap out Harris or Biden. Biden, I don't think, is going anywhere. I think Harris could go somewhere. So if she gets swapped out with maybe a Gretchen from Michigan or something, this is the kind of stuff I sweat every day. I don't care about the politics. But if she comes in, that reduces the probability of a sweep. Right now, from the investor side, we see a sweep coming. We see a bad outcome for the existing policy. And I really hate, you know, partisan politics. I'm an investor. I got to put money to work. I have to bet real money. If you get it wrong when you vote, it doesn't cost you anything. Costs me hundreds of millions if I get it wrong. So the narrative I've been having today is everybody's saying, what do you think? Are you going to stick with this ticket? I said, let's wait until midnight of August 7th. If they stick with what they got, let's triple down.
All right. Donald Trump gave an interview in Bloomberg. In the recent weeks, it was published yesterday. I'm guessing if you didn't read it, you saw the headline. And here's sort of what made me chuckle, Kevin. He asked about the possibility of Jamie Dimon as his Treasury Secretary, and he said, quote, he's somebody that I would consider, sure. As you know, Jamie Dimon reports to no one except his investors. What do you think about the possibility, though, of that man, Jamie Dimon, being in a Trump administration? Do you think that's real, or do you think that was Donald Trump just trying to flex a little?
Everybody in financial services knows Jamie wants this job. He would be perfect for it. Well, he wants it, and he would be perfect for it. Look, I'm just disclosing what I know already. And the thing about a second mandate is, do you have a presidency of consequence? And picking the right cabinet people matters so much. He's perfect. He's bipartisan. He's well known all around the world, and he has tremendous executional skills. There is no one better. Trump should listen to him. The point is, if he puts him in that place, he doesn't have to worry about this mandate at all. Trump is, I think, here's what I'm thinking about Trump right now, and I haven't heard from him yet. And remember, I don't vote politics, I vote policy. I'm smelling a Trump 2.0, a different Trump. Maybe getting shot in the head changes your life forever. Everybody's been saying that. Yeah. I think he senses legacy. You want the very best around you when you're a legacy. You really want to bring the biggest. This is his last 4 years as president. Make it big. Now, if this is what we're going to get in Trump 2.0, I really like what I see. So come on, Jamie Dimon, and let's see what else we can do. What else can we do? How about Burgum for Energy Secretary? Look at that guy in North Dakota. Bring on the talent. Bring the winners. Bring the winners.
All right, I got to leave it there.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.